Faith Filter, where you and I filter all of our questions through everything that we believe. Hi there, I'm Erica with Pastor Jesse from Grace Community Church in Auburn, Washington. Good morning, my friend. How are you?
Erica, I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
Well, I'm excited and expectant because there is still a big chance that our M's might make it to the World Series. What do you think?
You know, momentum is real in sports, and right now the Mariners have it. And even the little things, like Cal hits a home run in Detroit, and who's there to catch it? A Mariners fan with a Cal jersey. I mean, all those little details, but even big picture. I mean, Erica, we've never won a World Series.
I know.
And anytime you've got a chance to do something you've never done before, I mean, this is potentially a massive breakthrough. And some fans, I think, are trying to emotionally guard their hearts and, well, I don't know if we're going to do it or not. And other ones are just all in, like, this is our year, we're doing it.
Guess which fan I am.
Well, Eric, you tend to keep a lot of hope, and
Yes.
So I'm thinking you're already, figuring out what the parade's going to be like, and, which autographs you're going to get, and if you can get World Series tickets. And I think you're probably already in that series, a couple steps ahead of us.
The confetti is already falling, Pastor Jesse. No, I'm really
Why
excited.
not?
But I thought of you a couple of times during these games. I find myself saying out loud in my living room, like, oh, Lord, please help Logan Gilbert get this strikeout. Or come on, Cal's up, Lord, we need a home run. How does the Lord receive those kind of prayers?
Right on. Erica, you are someone who naturally prays during the day, and prayer is a great way to just walk through anything in life, talking to God. And someone like Logan Gilbert, you just mentioned, I mean, he's been very vocal in his faith. He has shared his testimony and incredible stories. So, you're praying for your brother in the Lord, who is in the middle of a battle in the game, and I'm sure he appreciates your prayers. So absolutely, why not be praying? But, we also step back and keep perspective, and that's one of the roles of a chaplain is, even for the athletes, not to make the moment too big or sports everything or even idolatry with some of it. I remember in seminary, there was a guy who loved the Cowboys. His name was Tim. But during the Cowboys games, there'd be moments where he would step out of the room because he needed to calm down and just get perspective. And it was like he was losing self-control and he was about to go off on the refs. So we all have those kind of limits that we set. But prayer is something that, yes, you can pray for individual players, but when you're praying, during the day, it's good to just think back, well, what are the most important things? Am I praying about those? So some people's prayers, it's all about their sports world, and a lot of athletes have that. But we need to have prayers that are more meaningful, obviously, than just, how the game's going. But why not talk to God about whatever's on your heart all during the day? So whether it's relationships, works, fears, dreams, and all the above. So nothing wrong with watching a game and praying. Absolutely. And
this is the kind of perspective I so appreciate. I mean, why not? That is so good. Thank you for that. Let's talk about unity, because Pastor Jesse, a big gift that the Mariners are giving us right now is that, like, we're all coming together, we're rallying around our M's, and it just feels good.
It does. Eric, I was kind of joking around thinking, do you actually pray against the other team, like the imprecatory psalms and like you're praying things over them? No, we won't go into that. That's too personal.
That's funny.
The bonding that happens, like I've been at games before, and whether it's Mariners, Sounders, like when they, let's say, hit a home run or the Sounders score a goal, what I find myself is I'm turning to people I don't know, and I'm giving them high fives, and we're celebrating together, and I haven't even met them or know their name. And there's just that bond, because we're all on the same team, and we're united. And that's what sports can do. It can bring people together. The World Cup's coming, this summer to Seattle, one of 11 host cities. 5 billion people watch the World Cup.
Wow.
So the world's literally coming to Seattle. And that's the potential with sports, is that all nations come together. Whenever I go to a different city and I want to play pickup soccer, there's literally people from so many countries, and we build this friendship right away. And that's been true in every location. So sports, there's great potential, for athletes to glorify God, also for fans and parents too. Do you know, Erica, there are people whose kids play sports and they travel together. It's like a lifestyle, right? These traveling teams.
Yeah.
But in practices, there's some Christians that will bring food and just provide food for the other parents because it's a long day in practice. So there is so much ministry that happens through sports.
Yeah. And I just love that it reminds us we have more in common than we think.
That's right. And it's fun that you're going to see a lot of people jump on the Mariners bandwagon right now and just welcome them on board.
Come on.
You don't have to pull the loyalty card that you've been suffering for 20 years. And someone's just moved to Seattle and says, hey, this team's great. I think I'll like the Mariners. And so, yeah, it's that welcoming environment. And I think, that's a picture of really what church should be too. Some people have been there 20 years and it's not their seat. Someone new comes in and they're sitting where you usually sit. Great. Don't say it's my seat. You're welcoming them. And so many new people coming into church now. We're seeing such an increase, the number of people that are coming to church, and they're wearing their Mariners jerseys. They're wearing their Seahawks jerseys. Seahawks are doing well. And it's a great way to start a conversation, and start talking about the game today. All right, Seahawks game, what are you thinking? And we'll talk about players or different things. And so it's a way to build relationships. And you can go from talking about sports to talking about spiritual stuff. And it's not a tough transition. And that's what Jesus did all the time. Woman at the well, we're talking about literal water. Now we're talking about, living water.
Ooh.
And it's easy for us to just start thinking through our story and hearing other people's stories. And then when you're talking about one area of passion, you kind of come alive. And sports is an area that a lot of people have a passion about, like to talk about.
Wow.
And then also, what else are you passionate about? It just leads to opportunities to share about what's most meaningful to us.
Pastor Jesse, on fire today. So appreciate you. Hey, wear your jersey, your M's jersey, your Hawks jersey to church this Sunday. You're going to be so welcome. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, Pastor Jesse. You're a gift to us.
Let's enjoy this run because, Mariners, Sounders, Seahawks, all of our teams, and you can keep going. Reign are in the playoffs. You can keep going right now. This is a golden time for Seattle sports.
Oh, hey, God bless you, brother, and go M's.